So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. And now for the review of the day. Got a review here from Christy85. She says, your guests are on point. I love this show because Pat gets the best guests, and it has helped revolutionize my business. But Pat, you're always blowing your mic out and sounding bored during the interviews. Otherwise, I love it. I'm never bored. Maybe I'm just naturally laid back, but I'm never bored. That's funny. And I think the voice thing, this is just my voice. I just have a shrill voice. I've had several people look at this thing, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it as far as my microphone and all that. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, as you know, we've looked into that in the past. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast. So give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening. Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift. As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hybendigital.com/toolbox, or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox.
All right, what's up, Rockstar Nation? My name is Ian Lobos, and I'm filling in for Pat Hyben today. Extremely grateful for that. And today I've got another NAR 30 under 30 winner, Rachel Majors. She's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Been in the business 6 years, but for the first 3 years, she was part-time working in the real estate business and for a financial institution. She's married. She loves water, loves beach volleyball. She's won Young Professional of the Year, and she's a single agent with an admin and crushing it. So you're definitely going to want to listen to what Rachel has to say. So Rachel, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thank you for having me, Ian.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So let's get right into it. You were part-time for 3 years. That's a long time to be part-time in the business. What made you start in the business, and then what made you jump into full-time?
Yeah. So believe it or not, I worked at a financial institution, like you said. So with numbers, I was in the mortgage division. So I looked at a lot of people's financials as far as buying and what they were buying. So I was paying attention to the market. I started listening to books on tape at work, and Rich Dad Poor Dad was one of them. And it really got me thinking, why am I sitting at a desk and I can't control my income? So I started getting the agents that helped me buy my first home were hiring an admin. So I said, well, shoot, I want to apply. I want to try. I need another job. I get bored with one job. In college, I worked 4 jobs and went to school. So they were hiring. I applied, and they said, you would hate this. We're not going to hire you. And I said, excuse me? And they said, well, you're a high D, and you need to be an agent. You can't work for somebody. And I said, okay, fine. I'll be an agent. Right. So I got my license. My first year part-time, I sold 10 houses. Okay. My second year part-time, I sold 27 houses. My third year part-time, I sold 27 houses. And these agents were like, Rachel, you need to be full-time. You're crushing it as a part-time agent. What could you do as a full-time agent? So I just was nervous to be commission only, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to jump into this and see what happens.
Love it. All right. Well, 27 houses as a part-time agent, that's actually really impressive. Most full-time agents don't even do that.
Right. I know, but I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't even know that when the agents that I was trying to work for when they were hiring, they're kind of my mentors still.
Yep.
And they're like, Rachel, you are doing what full-time agents do. And I just didn't know. And
so how are you managing? So let's imagine that, there's a lot of listeners that listen to this podcast. Let's imagine that there's some part-timers out there listening right now.
mm-hmm.
What advice would you have for them besides just go for it, or besides, the ultimates? Like, how do you know when to make that shift? And, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah, well, if you're looking to get in the business, I definitely recommend everyone that they need to save up about $2,000 for initial expenses, at least in Michigan. That's probably what's going to cost you to get started in real estate, and then not expect a paycheck for 3 months. And then when it comes to me switching from part-time to full, I just looked at my future pacing and was like, okay, these next 10 people have reached out to me that they want to buy or sell, and I'm probably going to make this much money from them, from those deals. I can do this. I've got enough saved. I can go full time. For me, it worked out that way. It doesn't for everybody. As far as my job at the financial institution was flexible. So like I could take a 2-hour lunch break and show a house, or leave early and show a house. So it worked out that way. But many people that can't take a call or go on a showing, you got to just cut that full-time job and do
go for it.
Yeah.
I love that. So you are a single agent with an admin, right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about your production. In the last 12 months, how many houses did you sell?
Since January, I've sold 67 units, actually 69 because I just closed 2 yesterday, at 15 million.
15 million since January.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's awesome. What's the average price point in your area?
240. My average price point is 214.
Okay. So what's that, like GCI? What are you getting gross commission?
I don't have that number memorized.
let's take it off of 3%. So 15 million, 3%?
Yes.
Okay.
That would work.
And then what's your profit margin in your business? Do you know?
Pretty high, about 90%. So
your percentage of listings and buyers, are you more buyer heavy?
I am. I'm about 60% buyer heavy, 40% seller heavy. Trying to make it at least 50-50 or 60-40.
Yeah. And then where do you get all your business from? If your profit margin is that big, you're not paying for leads.
I'm not paying for leads. I've never paid for a lead. I did do a sprint last year on television, and I loved it. I didn't necessarily get leads from it, but it was I was on TV and it was fun. So I got to experience that. But my leads are Sphere and family and referrals. Okay. It's always been, if I treat my clients well, they're going to pay me back with referrals, and they do 10 times over.
Yeah.
So just loving on my past clients. I'm having events for them at least 3 times a year. So just loving on them, always thanking them for their referrals with gifts. And my social media presence is really strong. I get that a lot in my area. It's not hard. It's just really good. I have really good followers, and they're paying attention.
So let's dig deeper into that, because a lot of people want to be more Sphere-based. Let's dig more into that. So you're doing client events. How are you loving on your people?
I send them handwritten birthday cards with a lotto ticket in there and a little bit of confetti. I know it sounds silly, but they smile. They're smiling when they're opening that birthday card. I get them posting on social. They're like, "Oh, look, my agent sent me a birthday card," and they post about it. I mean, that's free advertising right there.
Sure.
They get an anniversary card for their home purchase. Past clients, all my buyers from 2019 are going to get a customized ornament in the mail on Christmas. Nice. To put on their tree. And every year when they put the ornaments on their tree, they're putting mine up, and I have my info on the back so they don't forget me. Client events, I think I mentioned that. Right now, my client events are a movie night for kids or families with kids mostly, and then a happy hour I have coming up that's more like the younger crowd that want to drink. And then this year I'm going to do a Santa event during Christmas. You can come take photos with Santa.
Love that.
Your pets, bring your kids. You can have cookie decorating.
What would you say brings you the most referrals?
Past clients.
Okay. Past clients. Now, are you calling them on a daily basis? Are you doing social media advertising? Like, what are you doing to actually to touch them, reach out to them?
Texting a lot. They don't answer the phone. I'll try calling and they just don't answer. I text them and they'll respond. In social media, I'm constantly reaching out to them on there too.
Like private message wise?
Mm-hmm.
So give us an example of a text that you'll send. So do you have it scheduled out where you'll reach out to, 5 or 10 past clients or something a week or a day, and then you have a text that you'll send to just everybody to re-engage?
It will be customized. I'll copy and paste, but change a few things. And a lot of it is like, hey, it's been 6 months since you bought your home with me. What are some renovations you've done? I'd love to see a photo. And a lot of people love to share the changes they've made. And I love to post before and afters on my social media. And they love it when their before and after is posted.
No, I love that. That's awesome.
An example.
That's a great idea. What are some other things you do to just keep in touch with them? Because I know that people, myself included, are like, how often should I reach out, call, text, email my sphere? I mean, someone bought a house from me 6 months ago versus 7 years ago. How often do you touch them? So, what are you doing? What's your structure look like?
I would say the moment they close with me, within a month, they're getting coupons in the mail from me from a local furniture store. Another month later, they're going to get a postagram from me that says, it's a photo of them that says, we remember this day. I hope your house is feeling more like home every day.
Got it.
And then reaching out again, asking for reviews and referrals within probably another month after that. And then following up with, they're getting touched from me at least probably 5 times a year, at least, if not more.
Got it. And then the natural stuff on social media that they're seeing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it's never pushy. You never want to come across pushy. You're always coming from contribution. How can I help them? You can even as simple as, hey, don't forget to change your furnace filter in the fall before you turn on the furnace for the winter. It's so easy to be genuine too. Yeah,
it actually, it's almost too simple if you think about it. I think that's what makes it difficult sometimes or challenging is that, does that work if I just text this person? But you're right. It's about love and contribution, not trying to get something from them. So you're just saying hey, I'm just reaching out to tell you, hey, make sure you change your furnace filter, or make sure you check for a hurricane, make sure you check the drains in your basement, outside. Yeah. So, that makes a lot of sense. So do you have, I know you're a single agent, do you have a vision to build the team out?
I do.
What does that look like?
My next hire would be either a showing assistant or a buyer's agent. Okay. And then at that point, I'm sure I'm going to need another admin, if not at the same time, simultaneously.
Right.
And then I don't want to be a mega team, like a ton of people.
Sure.
But maybe in the future, probably at least 2 or 3 buyer's agents or showing assistants. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And then, what's the goal in terms of where do you take the team? Because I think we talk to a lot of people that they're doing 10, 15 million and they're happy. They're cool. They're like, that's the lifestyle. How do you know what business is right for your lifestyle?
Right. So my goal this year is 100 units or 20 million. It should be pretty much the same with my average price point. And I was talking to my coach last week and I said, I want to pretty much do 100 units, 20 million again next year, but have a better, work-life balance. So leverage.
Yeah.
And giving opportunity to other people on the team. Right now I'm literally doling out open houses to a lot of agents in the office to help grow the office, but I really need to grow my own team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what about hiring one of those agents on as a showing assistant just to give them a shot?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I've thought of that, or even people I've helped bring to the office. So I'm kind of watching how these agents are doing the open houses and seeing who's stepping their game up.
Sure.
tribeofmillionaires.com. Guys, write that down. Rockstar Nation got a free special offer for you. Now, I've just written a book, and it's just been published. Co-authored it with David Osborne, who's been on this show multiple times. If you don't know David, he is one of the top execs at Keller Williams Real Estate, was personally mentored for the last 2 decades by Gary Keller himself, and he's in all kinds of businesses. His bio and explanation and everything is in this book. But anyways, David and I got together. We decided to write a book. We called it Tribe of Millionaires. And I guarantee you it's going to change your life. To find out more, just go to tribeofmillionaires.com. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Only thing we ask in return is, of course, number one, you pay the shipping. Not a big deal. But number two, that you go on Amazon and write us a review. We're really looking to get an incredible amount of reviews, and because of that, we're giving this book away for free. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com today. It's Team-tober here at Rebus University, and we're running a special for Real Estate Rockstar Nation. This special is going to save you 90% on your team's real estate training. And the cool thing is, as a team leader, you don't got to do nothing. Just put your team to work on this incredible training. Here's how it works. This week, it's the Certified Listing Agent course. Buy one course, buy the Certified Listing Agent course. Yes, the Certified Listing Agent course, where hundreds of teams have taken this course, and many require it before any agent goes on a listing appointment. If you buy one of those, you get 9 more for free. That's right. One agent takes that sucker, and you get 9 other agents to take it, get certified completely on their time, absolutely free. Buy one, get 9 free. The cool part about it is you can then discuss it at your team meetings. Talk about everybody's progress and talk about what everyone learned. If you want to get the Certified Listing Agent course for you and the rest of your team, 9 for free, just go to hibandigital.com/teams. This offer is only valid for this week only. Next week will be another course. That's hibandigital.com/teams.
What systems do you use behind the scenes? Like, I know you have an admin, but like, what CRM systems do you use? What's your admin use?
Absolutely. Systems are huge. We have a ton of checklists. That way you don't miss a step. Right now we're using Trello as a checklist system, but Keller Williams has something called KW Command that's coming out that is going to compile all of our checklists, Excel spreadsheets, etc., into one, which is going to be fabulous. So we're actually really starting to dive into that right now, adding our current checklists into the KW Command system.
Yeah, it is. I've seen Command, and I'm not going KW'd out, but I've seen Command, and it's pretty amazing. So I agree with you on that. What other systems do you use?
Besides Trello, really just checklists that we have and Excel spreadsheets.
Okay. And on Excel, you're just keeping track of what? Closings, things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
We have the current Keller Williams system is eEdge, and we use that for birthdays and anniversaries, and we keep track of referrals given and sent and thank yous. So, I guess we have that as well.
Got it. How do you balance work and life now?
I can't say it's beautiful. I love working. I would diagnose myself as a workaholic. If I'm not going on an appointment or doing something in the evening, I don't know. I need to do that. Yeah. So, but we have a lot of social events that we go to, which is really nice when you're in real estate. You honestly, like I said earlier, I play volleyball on the weekends, and I actually play with current and past clients and connect with future clients. So like every event that I go to is very intentional. I'm always talking about real estate. It's on my mind. So we have a lot of events that we're hanging out with current, past, or future clients.
Nice. I like that. What do you do for, you kind of mentioned like, if I don't have real estate to do, I kind of go crazy. I've been in that space before. I know what that's like. I kind of got out of that once I had my first kids, or my wife and I had our first kid. So it actually is nice to be able to just unwind in the evening if you have nothing to do.
Yeah.
So personal development was huge. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because I know that there's a big key component to the doing and the being in this business, where a lot of people, I think, get stuck and they don't understand how to get to a happy ground or happy medium. Mm-hmm. So what do you do for personal development? Do you have a morning routine? Do you read books? I know you mentioned that you do, but what books do you read? Do you go to seminars? Do you meditate? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I look at volleyball as like my time away. I can't have my phone on me. So that's like my little bit of rejuvenation. I play volleyball even in the winter too, indoor. So I know you don't really have winter where you are, but we do.
We do. No, not like you, but we do.
And then in yoga, I do a lot of yoga. That's really helpful, beneficial. Always listening to a podcast or Audible. My latest favorite actually isn't real estate related. It's the Rise podcast by Rachel and Dave Hollis.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really, really beneficial. She's a great motivational speaker. Love listening to her. Otherwise, just on Audible, just a lot of real estate books and leadership books.
Got it. Give me your top favorites.
Well, real estate wise, a lot of, let me
pull it up. It's fine.
Pulling it up right now. Well, John Maxwell, of course. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki's got some great ones. The Culture Code, The Carpenter. Those are just some of the latest that I've read.
Got it.
Hug Your Customers, 7 Levels of Communication.
Got it.
All great reads.
And what do you do? Like I had this conversation with somebody a couple months ago, but I keep seeing stories about it as far as agent safety.
Yeah.
And I, without being sexist, I hear this more from female agents, like in my office and things like that. So I'm just going to ask you as a female, like, what do you do? Do you worry about agent safety? Do you guys have like something in your office, and policies or procedures or something like that? I mean, great for like everybody, but I just hear it more from female agents. So what do you guys do?
Yeah, great question, Ian. So I have like my own personal policy where you heard me, a lot of my clients are friends or referrals. So I'm not usually worried about my safety, but whenever I've not figured out how they've connected with me, we don't have a mutual contact.
Sure.
I am asking for a copy of their driver's license or pre-approval letter before I show them a house. I will not meet them at a house until I've seen one or both of those. My husband has access to my calendar always. And if I'm going to go show a home where I've never met this person, I will send them a screenshot of their driver's license and say, I'm going to meet, let's say, Dave at 123 Main Street tomorrow at 4. So he knows where I'm at, who I'm meeting. And if they ever rebuttal and say, I'm not going to give you my driver's license or pre-approval, I'm not going to meet them.
Right. You kind of know at that point.
Yeah. And at that, honestly, every time I say for safety and security, I need a copy, and I've never really had anyone say no. So that's my own personal. I have let go of a client once when I felt like it wasn't right. It didn't feel right. And I just sent them to actually a male agent in the office. And then I gave them a little bit of a heads up. I just said, hey, I'm going to send you this client. Here's why.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I think there's some really good apps out there. I mean, there have been times where I went on a listing appointment and I walked in and somebody opened the front door, but someone was standing at the back door, and then they're like between me, I'm in the middle, they're between both doors.
Oh my. And
I've been like, okay, all right, this could turn out weird. So I think about that. You're in people's homes, you're meeting strangers, and you're taking them into a house. So it's definitely something to think about. I want to go back for a second to review or referrals. And I want you to kind of give the audience a piece of advice, something that they could take action on today that would help them, increase, let's say engagement. Maybe they don't get a referral, they don't get a closing from it, but just engagement, just something simple they can do today. It'll take an hour to engage with, let's say 10 people.
Well, I think a step before that, one thing I really want to touch on is reviews are really important.
Got it.
If you don't have reviews or asking for them, start. Okay. So for every closing, I ask them to review me on Facebook, Google. I have like 5 platforms that they need to review me on, and I literally say, I can
Facebook, Google, Zillow,
Realtor.com. Let's see, LinkedIn, and my real estate website. So it's Facebook, Google business page, Zillow, my real estate website, Realtor.com, and LinkedIn. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but in my email to them, I have a link, so it's direct, easy, and I say copy and paste to all, and they usually do, or at least one. I send them a thank you card for reviewing me. They don't know it's coming, but I'm gonna send it, of course, with a little gift. Then, as far as getting referrals, I just throughout the transaction, many times I'm saying, my business is largely based off of my referrals of family and friends. Do you know anybody looking to move? Right. And, they might not at that very moment, but you've already put that seed in there so that when you ask again, they're like, oh yeah, she really wants a referral. And I mean, just growing that, gosh, the other day I met a new client and she's like, oh, my grandma's thinking of moving. I'm like, perfect. That is just as easy as that. And I'm going to go see her house on Monday.
Love that. I love that. Okay. And so let's talk about, I know we kind of talked about the agent safety stuff, but I like to understand when fear comes up. So we all have fear in this business, right? Whether it's call reluctance or I don't know there's so many different things that people can be fearful of, but they still are successful. So when fear comes up for you, how do you deal with it? And what is it? Like what is something that's, I don't know if you fear in this business, but you feel anxiety or fear around?
Right. It's typically, my fear is calling a client to do like a price reduction or something. Yeah. That's a fear of mine. It's all around the mindset. The other day I had one and they're like, oh yeah, we should drop the price. You're right. We've been waiting for you to call me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what?
You've been obsessing.
Like, this is ridiculous, Rachel. Why are you doing this? So it's all mindset, and you're trying to forecast what the client's going to say, and you don't know. They could be, oh yeah, we need to do it. Right. So, we all know mindset's really important. So just if I'm ever in that state, just tell myself like it will be okay, and you can't make everyone happy. That's not the business that I'm in. So just making sure that everything I do makes sense for my business and my family.
Got it. Understood. Totally understood. Anything else that comes up like that intimidates you about the business or that makes you fearful? You're doing really well, so it doesn't seem like it. But
thank you.
Yeah.
You said anything else that makes me fearful or intimidated?
Yeah.
Every appointment I go on with listings, I think I'm better with buyers, on a confidence level, especially first-time home buyers. They're very easy to work with. I think going on listing appointments and not knowing if I have the listing, even though they're referred to me, I always just tell myself, I'm going to get the listing, they're mine, just with that mindset. But yeah, listing appointments, I think would be, I guess, the one thing I got to work on.
They're probably, when I talk to most agents, listing appointments are like the ones that are scariest. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. They're like the easiest, actually, because you're captive. Like you're sitting there with them, and I think it's what you tell me. Is it all right? Well, we got to sign this contract now. You know what I mean? Let's get rolling. Let's get started. That's the scary part, right? Because then you're facing them, and they can go, well, no.
Right. The fear of rejection. Yeah. Right. And then they're gonna go think about it and maybe call you later or maybe not. So you got to follow up. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing there. I mean, they're paying you a large chunk of money to sell their house. So making sure you know what you're doing and presenting well. I always come from, I want to get to know them more at the appointment and get to know their motivation as to why they're selling. And I really don't talk about myself at all.
Sure.
I give them information about myself via email and handouts, and then they can look me up. But I try not to talk about myself, actually.
Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Rieg. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom, do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. This certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents, on how to build a team from zero to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course, plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. All for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Rieg did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com. Hey, real estate rockstars, this is Pat Hyben, and before we jump back into today's content, I want to tell you about an extraordinary offer from an extraordinary company. I'm talking about My Outdesk. If you haven't heard of My Outdesk, basically they're a virtual assistant company, a VA company that specializes in virtual assistants for real estate agents. Yeah, I'm talking about transaction coordinators, marketing assistants. I'm talking about ISAs, inside sales agents that prospect thousands and thousands of seller leads and buyer lead follow-ups. I mean, these guys are trained in this stuff specifically. You're not using a company that doesn't know or understand real estate sales. 4 out of 5 of the top teams in the US use My Outdesk for their virtual assistants. And because I know the owner, Daniel Ramsey, I've known him for over a decade, and I know how awesome and incredible this company is and how it saves agents thousands and thousands of dollars every single week and makes them thousands and thousands of more every single week. We're going to give you a $400 coupon off of your first month of a virtual assistant and give you a free book entitled Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. So you can read it and look into it before you decide anything. It's called Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And you can get it real easy. All you got to do is text the word Hyben, H-I-B-A-N, to 31996. That's H-I-B-A-N to 31996. And download your free book, Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And don't forget to mention also that you get a $400 discount, which will give you a coupon for that when you download the book. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy and make a ton of money using My Outdesk.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because the average listing appointment, that's what it is. And I took some agents on my team to some listing appointments back in the spring. They were asking me to go, and they said, so we want to see your structure and how you lead them through a listing presentation. And I said,
Yeah.
Guys, that's not how it goes. I have it memorized in my head how I walk through a listing consultation. Yep. But at the same time, I'm weaving that into a conversation.
Yeah, so absolutely.
We had the seller and I had a conversation for 2 hours about, it was literally, he kept saying like more stuff that he researched about me. And then I would rebut with more stuff I researched about him.
Oh my gosh.
And like, we did that for 2 hours and we just broed out. And then I'm like, all right, man, listen, I got another appointment. I got to roll. Obviously you're going to be listing with me, right? I mean, we hit it off. You need to know anything more? And he's like, how do you market? And like, I tell you what, let's get the listing contract signed. I'll send you an email real quick with all the stuff. We're gonna break it down. He's like, cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
It literally is about those relationships and asking questions to find out motivation. That's really it.
No, totally. Yesterday I sold them this house 3 years ago, and because they went through my open house. I had the listing, they walked through, they wanted to sign or buy it. So I filled out the offer for them. It closed. That was 3 years ago. They called me this past week and say, we're going to sell again. We thought we'd pick you because you sold us the house. We got a few other agents that we know, but we'd really like to work with you since you know the house the best. And I said, perfect. So I go over there this week to sign paperwork. I have it filled out. And at that point, she was like, I'm literally so exhausted. I'm just going to sign. I trust you. I didn't even, and I was like, well, I'd really like to go over the paperwork with you. She's like, no, I'm just going to sign it.
You're doing it.
Like, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. What's your typical day look like?
I'm in the office by 30. I mean, I'm not in the office long. I'm out on appointments or showings. But I'm probably in the office about 4 hours a day. I try to fit in like a lunch appointment a week or coffee with other agents or leaders that I really enjoy learning from. Yeah. So it's important to stay connected with other agents. Sure. I'm going to a lot of agent events. Like last night I went to a lender had a happy hour for their new opening of their office, and I connected with 3 agents there because you never know, tomorrow I could be doing a deal with them.
Sure. Yeah, you absolutely don't.
So if you're a new agent, it is hugely important to connect with other agents in the industry because you never want to burn a bridge with anybody because tomorrow you're going to do a deal with them.
You know what's funny is I think a lot of agents that I've worked with think that we're competition and we're trying to compete against each other in this like negotiation battle. And I remember saying to somebody, actually it was like last summer, and I said, hey, do you realize that we're allies here, right? We have a job to do for our clients. This isn't me against you, secret, like, how can you get one over on me? We have a job to do. If we don't work together, we don't get the job done for either of our clients. So the more you push on me, like to be some big hotshot negotiator, it's not going to work. Plus, you're not negotiating with me. You're negotiating with my client. We're just go-betweens. So chill out with the negotiation books. Just let's figure out how to get this thing done.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation for all, and everything should be in the best interest of the client.
That's totally true. So let's talk about a failure you've had that has come back to really be a blessing for you, like a major, oh my gosh, this sucks failure that now is like, when you look back on it, you go, man, I'm so glad that happened because this is what I do today.
I can think of a failure, but not how it came back yet.
Well, tell us about a failure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a simple mistake that I made, but I missed the inspection period, basically.
Okay.
I told my client that their inspections start after I sell their current home because that's how I usually write it in the offer. Well, I clearly forgot that sentence in the offer. So they were literally doing their inspections, and at that point, there was no way I could negotiate anything because we were past the inspection period. So I just told my client my mistake, and I said, if for some reason you want to back out of this house, I will pay your deposit, your earnest money deposit. And I said, if there's an issue with the home, then I will also pay for that too. Right. So, I mean, I just had to make it up to them. The more deals you do, the more mistakes you're probably going to make, if not learn from them. Sure. I mean, the goal is to learn from them. So if anything, always admit the mistake. Don't ever try to push blame on somebody else.
That's a good point. Just come out with it. People aren't going to be mad most of the time with that if you're just honest and open.
Yeah, I'm human. And when I was dreading that phone call to the client, and they kind of didn't really understand what I was trying to explain to them, and they're like, "So we still get the house, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can still have the house." So like they really it didn't matter to them, thankfully, but it could have been terrible.
Sure. So we all have pain in our businesses. What is one big source of pain in your business that if you had a magic pill, you could remove it?
I need to control my calendar a little better. Pain would be, what's that?
What's that mean?
Like, I'm a workaholic. I like to work, but controlling my evenings. And if I have something with like my family, sometimes I cancel because work comes up when really I need to keep that, for example. So just it's not worth the paycheck if I'm missing out on some family or personal time. Right. So that is a pain that I have to work on, and I know it's present. So it'd be great if clients could see homes during the work hours, would be fantastic.
Though, I talked to an agent in Los Angeles that doesn't do anything after 5 and nothing on weekends, and doesn't do big like $5 million LA business. They do like 500 to $1 million, which is actually low end in LA.
Right.
It's like our 250s or 200s.
Right.
And they let the clients know, this is my schedule. They share the schedule. Here are the available appointments I have for showings. Pick one. And that's it. And so like from 5 to 7 every night, he's got a time block. So I followed that advice. And last year I had a listing appointment where somebody said to me, we need to see you tomorrow to get the paperwork signed. And I said, well, I'll send it to you tonight. And they said, no, we need you here tomorrow. We're going to interview one more agent, and then we're going to make the decision with both of you here.
Oh, interesting.
And I said, that's okay. That's a little strange, but I can't be there. And he said, okay, so you're prepared to lose a $750,000 listing. And I said, I'm not prepared to lose it. I'm just telling you that I have an obligation. And he said, well, what's more important than making $20,000? And I said, the commitment I made to my wife for our date night.
Right.
His wife lost it, started crying, and literally looked at me and said, you know what? We're giving it to you. And I was so scared.
Right.
I told them that because like it's 20 grand potentially. Mm-hmm. But I knew actually that was 2 years ago. I knew at that moment that being honest about my schedule and things that I had planned that were a priority, like my kid or my wife,
right,
people are going to respect that. And if they don't, you don't do business with them.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I love that. I need to work on that.
Just do it once and just see what happens. Right. And if somebody's like, well, then screw you, and I'm not going to list with you anyway, or I'm not going to buy from you, don't take that as your example.
Right. Well, and they weren't worth my time then.
Right.
So, yeah.
But you gotta, I've been in business for just a little bit longer than you have, and the one thing I've learned is you'll be sitting there on a late night or a Sunday morning or something, and you'll start to understand the regret of your choices in this business if you neglect the things that are truly important versus the things that you think are for right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
And age definitely will help clarify those things a little bit more.
Growing a team, that's why that's kind of in my forecast, because then we can start a family and it'll be a little more seamless.
Yeah, that's totally true. That's totally true. So I want to ask you as we wrap up here, just looking at time, what do you think the future holds for real estate? I mean, we've got the iBuyer programs, we've got Amazon involved, we've got, KW's making some big moves, the XP's making big moves, all these companies making big moves. Mm-hmm. What's the future hold for real estate in your mind?
I think everyone is still going to need someone holding their hand through a transaction.
I agree.
I don't think the agent's going to go away. If anything, like an appraiser would go away before us. I thought that was going to be done long ago, where we didn't need appraisers anymore. So I don't see agents leaving anytime soon. I think we as agents have to step up our game when it comes to relationships.
Yep.
And knowing your market and knowing your numbers. You should know those better than the computer.
I agree, because the client will.
Oh yeah, they can figure that out with their quote unquote estimates and estimates everywhere. So we have to explain the market to them and explain the numbers to them.
Sure. Okay. What else do you think it holds? Where do you think it's going? Like in 30 years from now?
Like values or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that so here's where I'm coming from. Sitting in that command class yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. You're looking at the pinnacle, the cutting edge of real estate tech. Mm-hmm. Years advanced of its most close predator or close competition. And I'm looking at probably, there's probably 60, 70 agents in that room, and I'm looking at 3/4 of them and going, they're not going to pick this up. They want to do it the old school way, but the old school way is not data driven. This is a data driven market and society we live in today. And that's why command is there, to get as much data as possible, to give us as much power as possible. Right. That's what I understand from it. Yeah. And there's other companies and other websites out there and other programs that are collecting data as well for agent power. But do you think that the agent population will drastically change in the next 2 to 3 years based on something like a command system or just the way that buying and selling is done? Yeah, I do. I think probably 1 out of 10 agents in my area are not going to be agents much longer. 1 out of 10? Yeah. Okay. Now, is that an age ring? Is that an age thing? Is it an adaptation of tech? Is it both? What do you think? Age can play a huge role. I think the average agent's like in their 40s or 50s, right? I think. Right. And so I think that's going to keep going down, that the average age is younger. And a lot of the new agents, if they don't hop on that tech train quick enough and get their knowledge in place, they're not going to be an agent very long. Yep. I think the buyers are going to notice that they know more than maybe that new to agent. Well, that happens to the car business. I mean, you walk into a car dealership and you know probably 5 times more than the average. And I'm not trashing car salesmen. I'm just saying, in my experience, the car salesman looking at me going, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that." And all I did was watch a 3-minute YouTube video on that car the night before, and that's it. Like, right. Just told us, here are all the main features. Hey, did you know it had this button? No. Oh, okay. And so we don't want to be learning on the job with a client. We want to be learning and then applying that to our clients. Right. So, I would agree with you on that. Yeah. Every time you don't know something and your client does, their confidence in you just drops tremendously. Right. And granted, you're not going to know everything. We know that. Yeah. But there's a way you can explain how you didn't know something and get that answer to them quickly. Soon. Yeah, totally. Well, Rachel, this has been a real pleasure. So tell the audience about the gift that you're going to be giving us. So I believe I uploaded checklists, and checklists are basically systems. If you don't have a system, you're going to forget something, and making that system seamless so that every transaction has a rhythm to it and can be produced at a high level. Got it. And so for all of you listeners out there, you can go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or agent toolbox and find Rachel's gift as well as every other guest that we've had. All the gifts are on there. For more information on Rachel, contact details, social media stuff, hibandigital.com/Rachel Major, Major. Rachel, this has been a pleasure. Anything you want to leave our audience with? Make it a great week. Crush it. All right. I love that. Thanks you, Ian. Thanks for coming on Real Estate Rockstar. It was an absolute pleasure having you. And I look forward to catching up in like a year from now, seeing where you're your domination is gone.
Awesome. I look forward for it.
Definitely. Well, take care and have a great week.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
All right.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 Million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get, so please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.